Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Misery and Despair, joined this week, as always and as usual, by Rage and Loathing.
Hello. I understand, but I had a mac and cheese hot dog. You had Nando's, and we both had a Krispy Kreme. The evening could have been worse.
It's improved.
Yeah.
Yeah, significantly.
Yeah.
And because I know I've got that hot dog on the horizon,
Yeah.
I'm also titillated.
I understand.
What we need is a Google Dictionary pop-up.
Oh yeah, that was a good joke.
It was. Yeah.
Or just a little gift for some tits.
Better.
We've already got 2 big tits on this show. Why does my hair look square?
That's why I'm trying to go on walks and stuff. Yeah, my hair looks... I don't know why. It always looks fine until I get on camera and then my fringe goes fucking haywire. Don't really know what's up with that. That'll do.
Yeah, it's alright. I like that. That's kind of... Oh yeah, it's good. It's cool. It's got some style to it. A little bit of pizzazz.
Pizzazz. It'll do. Anyway, how are you, Rich and Hannah?
Oh. Are you going to ask how I was?
I know how you are. You just said you had a hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
We're titillated.
Yeah.
Titillated.
Fair.
Today we're here, and I'm sorry for wasting your time, to talk about Thor, Love, and Thunder. Yeah. With a budget of $250 million, not well spent, and a worldwide gross of $760,928,081. So this, especially coming off the heels of Ragnarok, is disappointing for them.
I agree. Rich, have you not seen this film at all?
If you haven't, I'd say don't bother and just watch.
Watch this.
Yeah, just watch us. We'll talk about it. You don't need to watch it. Just stick around.
There is really nothing. I mean, I understand why you would want to save it, not have it spoiled for you, but there is nothing in this that I think is worth avoiding a spoiler for.
Genuinely, I think there's, maybe 2 jokes that we found landed.
Yeah, there's 2 we laughed at.
Yeah. There's nothing really going forward for the MCU that's going to matter.
No, because ideally they're going to undo everything from this movie, so...
This is going straight into ranking.
Oh, we've decided the ranking.
Yeah,
we
have already written the ranking down. You don't have to worry about these 2 spoiling it. Taika Waititi already did that. Yes, he did. And this is...
Did he?
He spoiled the whole fun.
Got it. I'm a bit slow.
A double entendre.
Yeah, no, I got it.
So you should definitely...
My initial thought was, the reason I was confused, it was like, I don't think making the movie counts as spoiling the movie. I thought it was just a weird joke about the fact he made it.
Oh, I see.
But no, I get it now.
No. It's a very bizarre scenario that he ended up in. He just ended up running with it. Like, I feel with Ragnarok, he was deeply contained. He had all of these walls, and then Ragnarok was a success.
I think he had also a better, more stronger idea for Ragnarok. Because I imagine, that sentence.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
do you mean as much as you? Sorry, Hannah just put. To be fair, I didn't hate this film as much as I did. Do you mean as in you used to?
Yeah.
You didn't hate it as much as you did previously.
Yeah. Or do you mean you didn't hate it the first time as much as you did the second time?
Or did you just miss a word and you didn't hate it as much as you thought you did?
Yeah. Or do you mean that you didn't hate this movie as much as we did?
Regardless, your sentence is wrong.
I wouldn't say it's a bizarre situation.
It's a great situation.
One.
Yeah. I mean, I feel he was let left to run amok in this movie. I also feel like
I saw a clip recently of an interview with Tessa Thompson where someone says, like, what's the weirdest rumor that's ever been spread about you? And she was like, what's the weirdest rumor that's ever been spread about you that's not true? And she went, you know what it is. I'm not going to say you know what it is. And I was like, there are literal pictures. What do you mean it's not true?
Yeah. Yes. He was clearly left to run amok. I also feel like he really wanted to undo things that the Russos did.
I think so as well, yeah.
And I feel like that just shouldn't be allowed because Star Wars.
Yeah. But I also think I would imagine that the way this works when they're selecting directors for these films, I would assume that the directors are pitching a film to Feige and the rest of the Marvel producers. That's like they're not just bringing these directors in and then letting them because like Taika Waititi writes the movie, right? It's not just going you write the movie and like it's being pitched by a number of projectors, a number of directors and a number of ideas, surely.
Not a script.
Not a script, but a core concept.
So Taika Waititi said the way he pitched Ragnarok was literally just a montage of other films. Montage of clips of other films with immigrant song playing on.
I see.
Just for tone.
Oh, right. Okay.
And things like that. So that's what he did for Ragnarok.
I was wondering if it's a case of that, like, he had a strong idea for Ragnarok. So he was able to go in and make that strong idea.
He probably did, but I mean, that's probably just not how pitching worked in this scenario.
But then at least by the second movie, he's got the second movie based off of, you did well with the first one, you did. But he doesn't necessarily have an idea for it and has had to try and cobble something together, perhaps. That's kind of what this feels like. It just feels like he hasn't got the same inspiration as what he had on the first one.
For sure. Because, I feel like he went after Ragnarok, whereas this he was just handed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, because of the success of Ragnarok, he went free reign. Because of where Thor was left off, he kind of had more free reign because we didn't really know what was going on with Thor. He kind of he hadn't been seen since Age of Ultron. Did you correct that on the ranking this time, or is it still Ulan?
Oh no, that's still Ulan.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That will remain Ulan until I have to remake the graphic to fit in the extra movies completely. Because obviously it only goes up to 30. I'm gonna have to rebuild the graphic to make 33.
Yeah, no, but to change it to Ultron is just...
Yeah, but I'll forget continuously, is what I mean. So I won't remember until I have to retype it all out.
Fair. What was the saying? Oh, yeah. And then he was also given more free reign and, like, not pointed in a direction. And the characters have been used by other people since his movie. So he's then got to work within those parameters. And I really hate this notion of you're joining a universe, other people are going to direct your characters, deal with it, carry on off of where they left. Like, you don't see... James Gunn didn't hard left redo everything.
No, he worked with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like he said that
he had that
Infinity War and Endgame completely, like, specifically for Gamora, completely fucked him.
Yeah,
for Gamora, because I don't think he had any intention, or he did. Wasn't it like he wanted to kill Gamora in the third one or something?
So I don't remember.
Yeah, like.
But either way, but then he didn't. He didn't undo it. He worked with it, and then we haven't watched it. I haven't rewatched that movie yet, and we haven't talked about the show. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed Guardians 3. Yep. I think it's really fucking solid.
I think it hit the top 10. I think.
Yeah, I do. Whereas this movie, hot pish.
Yeah, this movie is bad.
I've said before, I've joked as we've been going through this, that I hate Love and Thunder. I've only watched it. Today was the third time I watched it. So I watched it in the cinema.
The same. Yeah.
I watched it a second time to sort of go, maybe it was just because I went in with the wrong expectations and didn't like it, and then just have put it to, like, neglected it to the back of my head, like, I don't like this movie. Yeah, I don't like this movie.
Yeah,
it's just not. I don't think it's a good film in
any
most
aspect.
ways.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Honestly, Rich, I would say stick around, listen to us talk about it, and then just go and watch one particular scene that we'll get to. Literally, just watch that scene because it's the only
good scene. Yeah.
Like, I would argue, other than that scene, which even then I wouldn't say is perfect, there are no redeeming qualities.
No, I totally agree with you. I completely agree.
I think this is the worst we've gotten out of every single one of these actors across their entire careers. I think it is completely unfunny, other than, as we say, 2 jokes, to the point where I wrote down one of the jokes because it was that much of a...
is painfully unfunny. There is so much where you can see the joke they're trying to go for.
Oh yeah, because it's constant.
Yeah,
there is never a moment when they're not trying to go for a joke.
That's what we said as we were watching. And like every single line, the next line has to try and be a joke, and it has to try and devalue the previous thing.
Yeah.
Like every serious moment is undercut with some form of really, really poor, witless gag.
Yep.
It's just not funny. I actually put a note. One of my notes was, it's like every joke has been written by a 7-year-old.
See, kids are funny.
Yeah, but not intentionally funny.
No, I know, yeah, I know.
Like, so if like a kid was trying to write a comedy film, this is what I think they'd write. Like, because every joke is just kind of a point and laugh at the idiot joke.
Way too many. It's a nice grammar lesson there. But I do agree with you there, Hannah. One of the things you said, and I agree with, and the thing with this film as well is I think a lot of the stuff I don't like because of everything else. I think some of the stuff I would probably like on their own, like if it wasn't surrounded by so much guff.
Yeah.
But because it then becomes exhausting.
Yes.
Like
totally
one of the things
agree.
you brought up, and this is what I said that I would probably like it. Like if this was in Ragnarok or Infinity War or something, it would probably be quite good. And that's the seeming sudden sentience of
Stormbreaker.
Of Stormbreaker. Yeah. Why you're an axe? Why are you suddenly like? Are you?
Not only sentient, jealous.
Yeah, but it seems to have a personality, and I think that could play quite well. But because everything else is so like, what the fuck are you talking about? And just nonsense. And one of the notes I've got here is just everyone's an idiot.
Mm-hmm. That the overriding humor of this movie is everyone's a buffoon.
Yeah.
Everyone's an idiot.
And
everyone's a moron.
doesn't work.
And this is what we said about Ragnarok. The reason Ragnarok works is there is some idiots in and amongst serious situations and people behaving seriously. And everyone has maybe a moment. Like Thor has a moment where something stupid happens with him in Ragnarok, or he says something stupid, or he does something a bit silly. But it's a moment of it. It's not every waking moment of his existence.
No,
like his whole mantra in his being in Ragnarok is still very serious.
Yeah.
And Thor.
Yeah, and he's playful.
Yeah.
And almost an intentional class clown, as it were, but can still turn it off and whenever he needs to, and he can still be a normal person. But in this, it's just fucking constant. And there's a moment where they're having a conversation about how the love of his life has stage 4 cancer and is going to die, and he's just, for a couple of sentences when we were watching it, I was like, oh my, is this actually going to be a serious scene? And then they end it with, how you feeling? Oh, feeling shitty.
Yeah.
Could you not make a joke at the face of the person who's just told you they're dying of cancer? It's just, and it's always, it's just so much. It's so exhausting. It's like, you just want to grab Taika Waititi by the fucking head and just scream, shut up.
It means
face.
as well that every time there is a good joke, because there are a few good gags in there. There's a few good gags that peek through. But it means that because they're then so washed under all the other ones and the just genuinely poor dialogue that they then don't stand out. They just, another silly gag. So it means the good ones are missed. And it also, I think the few good gags they have, for the most part, they just go too hard on. Mm-hmm. Like I made a comment about, you get another one of fucking Matt Damon doing dramatic
The
retelling
play,
of the thing. And like I remember the first time when that watched the film when that started, I was like fucking excellent. Like I thought it was a really nice callback. They're playing around with it even more. You got now Sam O'Neill being Odin. That's hilarious. Matt Damon's really funny in it as well. And then they ruin it by bringing out
Melissa McCarthy.
McCarthy. Now there's two ways that this ruins it though, because there's the subjective way that I don't think she's funny.
That is objective.
I get it, but serious conversation is a subjectively. She's a comedic actress. People do find her funny, right? I don't find her funny. I don't think she's funny at all. So that doesn't work. But the other problem is the reason the rest of that play gag works is because of Sam O'Neill, Matt Damon are not comedy actors.
No.
They're serious actors and now playing like hyper full comedy. And it's the contrast of that and the fact that Matt Damon is overacting as Loki and it's poor performancing, a poor performance, etc., is why it's funny. It's funny in parody.
Yep.
What happens when Melissa McCarthy comes out, who is a comedic actress?
She's just being Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, and that is now not funny. It's just not fun because that's not the joke. The joke is the fact that it's Matt Damon and that it's Sam O'Neill and that it's the other Hemsworth brother.
Do you know how
That's the gag. That's why it's funny.
Matt Damon has done comedies.
That's not the same as being a comedy actor.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey has done serious movies. He's a comedy actor. Like he's a comedian. Like that's not the point. Like Matt Damon doing comedies becomes funny because it's Matt Damon doing the comedy, and that was the joke in this moment. That's the joke of that the whole thing about the play.
Do you know what would have made it 10 out of 10? If it was Judi Dench.
Yeah, it needed to be someone coming out who is a serious actress.
Yeah, it just came in my head. Judi Dench would have been fucking hilarious.
Judi Dench or... but I think also Judi Dench is known for doing a lot of parody stuff. So
yeah,
yes,
I know,
Judi Dench, but like I think you'd have to go... I don't know. I'm trying to think someone who's like...
Super serious?
Yeah, who's quite a serious female actor. Like, that's where you'd have to go with it.
It's hard these days because there aren't many...
Helen Mirren.
Yeah, but she does. Helen Mirren kind of mocks herself as well. Everyone does, though, I think.
Yeah.
I think most... to be fair, I can't think of...
Yes, she would have done.
I can't think of any female actor who comes across as super pretentious.
There's not. Yeah.
It's always the old men.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That are just like Daniel Day-Lewis. Whenever, honestly, yes, he's a good actor, but whenever a movie had Daniel Day-Lewis in it, I was like, I really don't care because it's just going to be super fucking pretentious. 9 hours long and nothing's going to happen.
But yeah, I just think that like with that gag example, it went on for too long and then it missed the point of the joke and ruined it. And it does that a lot. Like we're talking about the goats. Those damned goats.
Yeah. Those
like
fucking goats.
For me, the joke there of let me give you this gift, and it turns around and it's these two massive, loud, obnoxious goats. That in itself, funny gag. All right with that. And then maybe have one callback to it later on, or you do a build up and then a callback later on. That's funny. Right? So, like, the point where they crash into that planet and the goats just scream. If the goats had never cropped up again making a noise in that time... like
I was going to say they would need to be there.
Yeah, so here's what you need. You need the introduction of the goats. You then need to see the goats the second time when they put them on the front as they're putting the ship.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, you need to see them, but I don't think they need to be screaming all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You just need the goats there, and then the next time is because they crash into the planet. That's funny because if it does the planet, the exact same sequence hits the thing and they scream. That's then funny.
Because the crash in particular is on its own quite funny.
Yeah.
And
So that's funny, but it's ruined it by
Keep doing it.
continuously.
Yeah.
The goats are just there, and every time it even cuts, it does like a scene transition. You hear a fucking goat scream. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's not funny. It's annoying. And
No,
you're
it's not. It's
ruining it.
obnoxious. It's the sort of thing of like, it's the child running around with a loud toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like,
Hence my 7-year-old.
yeah,
comment,
they
because
make
it's-
you laugh once.
Yeah, and then they keep going because they think you.
Yes, they don't understand that over and over again.
It's
Makes
not
it
funny,
not funny.
yeah.
They just go, oh, this is funny.
Like a child that says fuck, and you laugh, so they keep saying it.
To be fair, that's never not funny. Or bollocks. Bollocks is 10 out of 10, dude.
Bollocks.
It's so funny. It's a 10 out of 10 word. To hear someone who should not be saying it say it. But no, I completely agree with all of that. I think we're being murdered by just the overuse of things. And like there's that moment where, and I just don't buy the way Thor's behaving either.
No, neither do I.
That's why it's so like, what's happened? But like the Thor we know, the Thor who has gone from spoiled rich kid essentially,
Yeah.
The jock, if you will, the rich jock, to full-blown superhero,
Yeah.
literally saving multiple planets and the universe through so much loss. And like you can even argue his weird change between Ultron and Ragnarok. I think Thor has always been funny.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
But they just kind of escalated it between Ulon.
But the funniness from Thor has always been the contrast between the serious and the
in
absurdity.
the first two, well, so up until Age of Ultron, he was funny in that he was very out of place.
Yeah.
Like, and none of this really made any sense. Like, Earth didn't make sense to him,
Yeah.
and his ways were silly, in the same way that you just laugh at someone who acts in a way you've never seen before, and it's just bizarre to you. But I don't phrase that carefully.
Yeah. I noticed.
Oh, that really threw me through a loop, actually. What were you
At least
saying?
we didn't say the joke we said in the other room earlier.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been bad. Okay.
Might have gotten views, though.
Any
But the
views
S...
are good. What?
Exactly. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
What? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what she said.
Yeah, and the escalation, you can kind of... He's just coping through comedy at this point
Yeah.
now. But now, it's just like, why are you bifrosting out of a roof filled with the survivors of an attack of your own people? Like, this is what... You've got one rooms left of Asgardians, and you're going to fucking blow a hole in the roof of the building they're all in just for a comedy line. And you're going to shout at... You're going to have a fucking 35-second argument with Meek because they're drawing on a board. And you're like, is that comedy? It's fucking mental. It's just... Everything about this movie is obnoxious. It's stupid. It ignores everything that Thor has been up until that point. I think the only character that's even slightly similar to their character from the previous movie is Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yeah.
Because they made Jane Foster a fucking idiot as well.
I also hated the fucking jokes with Korg where we can't get his name right.
Oh yeah,
Because it's just shit writing. It's just lazy. It's just a lazy shit joke.
Mm-hmm. Jodie Foster. To be fair, like the Jodie Foster one could be okay just because it's a real person. But that was the second time they'd made that joke.
That's who it should have been
Jodie Foster
in the play.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That would have been funny on multiple angles. Fair play. Fair fucks. Yeah. But yeah, it's just... You're not... Why would any of you act this way? It's so stupid. I hate it. The whole Astrid Axel nonsense.
Yep.
Fucking hated that.
That exists only to set up the use of Guns N' Roses in the final scene.
But they'd already used Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, and this is like... I moaned about this. We're just going to overtrack here. There are more bands out there than Guns N' Roses. You don't have to use exclusively Guns N' Roses for your soundtrack. And if you are going to use Guns N' Roses for your soundtrack, they have more songs than the 4 you used.
Mm-hmm.
As they are the 4 that everyone uses.
4! You should never have 4 songs from a band.
No. I know there are times where like with Iron Man, and there's multiple AC/DC songs used
Throughout the trilogy,
yes,
though.
but also diegetically.
Yes.
So it makes sense. He is a fan of
He
AC/DC.
is listening to AC/DC.
He is listening to AC/DC.
But yeah, there's only 1 song per movie.
Yeah.
And I don't actually think there is one in Iron Man 3. I think it's in the event. Oh, no, because he's just wearing a black suit. So. Yeah, because obviously the scene opened. The MCU opens with Back in Black.
Mm-hmm.
The whole MCU opens with Back in Black.
See, I don't think it is too much AC/DC
No,
because it's
it was
spread
out.
and it makes sense because he's listening to AC/DC. We start with the opening scene is Welcome to Paradise. Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
The opening fight scene.
The first fight scene.
Yeah.
Not quite opening.
Which in itself, all right, fine, cool, no problem. But then a little bit later on, we get Paradise City.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we get Sweet Child of Mine.
Yep.
And then we get November Rain.
Yep.
But they're the 4 biggest. If you ask someone name 4 Guns N' Roses songs, they are the 4 that you would name. It's like, so they're the most cliched picks. And actually, the final scene where they use November Rain, because they did the Axl thing, and he says, "Come on, Axl, let's go." And I can't remember exactly what he says. And then it kicks in with November Rain. That worked as a moment because of the reference. Mm-hmm. So if it was just that, and you were taking out the rest of the Guns N' Roses, that would have worked really, really well. And I think you can have that. And then the beginning scene needs to be, I think, should have been Immigrant Song.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Because that's clearly what they're trying to do.
Yep.
So if you're going to do it again, just do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then find some other tracks for your other 2. Like actually, where they use Sweet Child of Mine, that was
that
such
could
a
have just
short
been a
area.
score.
That could have just been, and probably should have just been a score.
Yeah. I agree.
And Paradise City was when they were. That was the fight in Omnipotent City, wasn't it?
No, that's Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh yeah.
But that's just when they're escaping. That's when the goats come through.
Oh yeah.
So Sweet Child of Paradise City, wasn't that just when they were showing New Asgard for the first time?
Maybe. So again, just score it.
Yeah, I don't mind so much that being a song.
Yeah, it can be.
But it's just the overuse of Guns N' Roses. Don't like. But Iron Man 2 was Shoot to Thrill.
I don't remember.
I'm just trying to remember. I think they use. Oh. I was just trying to remember the third time Iron Man takes over the PA from the Quinjet when they go to Germany to get Loki for the first time.
But again, that's him using
his
song.
It
makes sense.
It's diegetic, and his character likes that music, and I'm pretty sure they play Back in Black again in Far From Home.
Probably. Yes, when
I love Led Zeppelin.
Holland picks it up. Yeah. And again, that's a clever reference.
Yeah.
And it's also diegetic.
Diegetic, yeah.
So it's different. It's
I completely agree. It's different because it never stands out. It's not overdone.
I also think what they need, where he went wrong, was so we get Korg telling the shit fucking story.
I hated the narration
with
style.
awful gags in it as well.
Terrible, fucking forced.
Yeah.
Stupid nonsense gags all over like in the middle of really badly read narration, and it's just structured really poorly as well. I hated it. Sorry, I interrupted you.
And then, but that scene, what that's doing is that section, that montage, it's undoing Endgame and it's getting Thor back to
just being Thor
and getting rid of Dad Bod and Bro Thor, which I don't mind him
getting rid of the Guardians. I think that was an error.
I think getting rid of Guardians was an error, but I don't mind him getting rid of Bro Thor because.
I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it. But
yeah, I haven't liked Thor since Infinity War.
Yeah. But then obviously it goes into, and I liked what they were starting to set up here. He's waiting to be called into the fight. He gets called into the fight, and he goes down, and he's overconfident and he's cocky. And I'm fine with him being overconfident and cocky. I really like the bit that as he's saying his big speech, Star-Lord sat there and he's like, "Here it comes," and he like mouths with him what he's about to say.
He's always been confident and cocky.
Yeah,
though. That's
exactly.
The thing,
So him being confident and cocky, Star-Lord looking up to him, and he's like, "This is really fucking cool," and he's mouthing along. That in itself, that's great, and it's building up there. So we're now about to get some epic Thor fight scene. And what we got was just a bunch of gags. Because that fight sequence is a bunch of gags.
That's why I hate Guardians 2.
Yeah.
I hate Guardians 2 because they don't Like, an action comedy should have good comedy and good action. They don't need to bleed together.
But imagine if then that section, instead of going into the Guns N' Roses song, it went into Immigrant Song, and we had a genuinely
Good fight.
real good fight scene. Because then you're cementing, here we go. Here's Thor. Thor's back. This is what we wanted. Like, but no, it does this weird thing where he does these weird, perfect splits.
I hated it.
Like,
hate it.
It just fucking doesn't
There's a
make any
couple of
sense.
moves in there that are really fucking cool when he like charges up Stormbreaker, does that spin launch, and it kind of gets everyone as it goes. And there's some really cool stuff in there. But yeah, the splits,
The weird flip.
yeah, just stop. What happened to like this is the same director, writer that did the Immigrant Song Bifrost fight at the end of Ragnarok, which is fucking cool as hell. What happened? Like, why does everything... This is exactly why I hated Guardians 2. And the one that always comes to mind is the rocket taking out everyone in the forest.
Yeah. Because
It's
that
just gags,
shot of them all coming up out of the trees.
Yeah, and just the...
Like a whack-a-mole
in the
thing,
camera.
yeah.
I hate it. I hate comedy that just becomes pulling stupid faces.
Yep.
Nonsense. Get rid of it. You're not funny. Jim Carrey. I'm kidding. I'm not saying Jim Carrey is not funny. I feel like that is the sort of thing that you get skinned for. But it's just have cool fight scenes. You are making superhero action movies. And that's why Ragnarok was so good. It was you made a superhero action, obviously like slightly space opera-ish movie that you sprinkled your comedy all over.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you just try to make a comedy movie and sprinkle some superhero stuff
I've said
in
it
there.
before. This movie feels like a parody of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. It's a piece of shit.
Do you know what else is a real shame about it? It's a waste of a good villain and a good villain performance.
How do you waste Kristian Bale?
He's really good in this as well.
Wow, when he's given something to do, which
For
is like
sure, yeah.
twice.
But in those two moments, he's really good.
We also had a conversation of why does he die?
Yeah, they don't set that up.
They don't explain why he dies. There's so many things, but this film is edited in such a way where you can't get a grasp on timeline. At the end of this film, I was just like, oh no, it must have been, because we said, everyone's talking about this god killer as if he's a big myth and has been around for ages, whereas in context of the editing, it happened like a week ago.
Yeah.
He became the god killer, or god butcher, like a week ago. So why is it this big myth and everything? But at the end, he's all like scarred up and all this kind of like, all of his like markings are all covered with scars and everything. So it's like, time has to have passed.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They also edit it in a way where the statue for Jane is built before the kids come back.
Yep.
Not possible. Because A, the Bifrost is meant to be... Also, why does it take so long for them to... Isn't Bifrost meant to be instant travel?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because the Necrosaur was destroyed. Yeah, but why?
That doesn't kill him.
Yeah, but why does that mean he dies?
Because
There was never anything that said that the Necrosaur was killing him alive. Keeping him alive, sorry.
Yeah.
I know Thor said that if you destroy the sword, he dies. But that could have just been hyperbolic, like...
He's not
just,
powerful anymore. He can't kill us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's done.
But yeah, why does destroying the store kill him? Like, why is
That's
that a thing?
never... And, like, it's... Yeah, you can explain it away with the... Because the Necrosaur was destroyed and everything. But they never say that means they die. And there was a god butcher before him. Was there?
Yeah,
But-
at the beginning, that's where he got the sword from.
Yeah, but they never call him that.
No.
They just said, we killed the wielder of the Necro sword. I feel like if he was the god butcher...
They would have said we killed the god butcher.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like that is correct. Like, the whole thing is...
That's the canonical reasoning.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's,
it's
a shit answer.
the god butcher, he was called the god butcher, but it was just dog shit writing because they never say that, and also they never refer to the previous one, even though they only refer to him once, granted. But I feel like if there was a big mythical thing that was happening and has a name, you wouldn't the wielder of the necro. You would just say the god. We killed the god butcher, and then people would know what you mean. It's just an example of shit writing, and they never explain that they would die with the necrosword. They never explain why Gore's daughter has powers when she comes back. You
just say she's got the powers of the god. Just says it in some of the shit narration. Why does she? Why does she have the powers of a god?
Because she's a product of eternity, is my assumption. But they never say, they never show or tell you. The first time you know that she has powers is after all the resurrection stuff, and she just decided to fucking laser beam a frying pan.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Also, what the fuck are pan flaps?
It's because Americans call them flapjacks and we call them pancakes.
So what's a flapjack in America?
What we call pancakes. No, sorry. Wait. Hang on.
So what is a flapjack in America?
I don't think. So, American flapjack.
Careful what you're writing. Make sure you get the L in there.
Yeah, the pancakes.
So a flapjack that we have.
Yeah.
What's that in America?
What do Americans call UK flapjacks?
And even then, pan flap isn't flapjack.
Huh? But it's part pancake, part
Oh, I
flapjack.
see. Okay.
Yeah. Cereal bar or oat bar. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. So this is really badly written, like everything. British flapjacks. Oh god, yeah, I know what they are. It's just they just call them like granola bars and things like. Dumb.
It's a funny way of saying American.
It's shorter.
Yes.
Gets to the point. Have I finished my tea? I have. That's deeply disappointing. I think I might finish my Coke as well. Oh, that joke with the speaker. With the portable speaker.
Oh. But that's just another example of, again, just a joke that's in every moment for no reason. Every moment had to have a gag of some form.
Yeah, that scene didn't need a joke.
No.
Again, they
Most
were
of the scenes didn't need a joke.
No, they were talking about
Something serious.
her cancer.
Yeah.
And they're just like, are you packed? She picks up Mjolnir, shows the sword, fine. A bit forced, but fine.
And then even
Whatever.
cut into the daggers to show she has multiple weapons.
Yeah,
Fine.
But a hand grenade? No, it's a portable speaker. I also feel like that is fine. End. But then she turns it on and it plays a bit of a music and then
Yeah, sit there and dance for a little bit.
just fuck off. If you think this is funny, your career should end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop it. Absolutely stop it. Just shut the fuck up.
What was the good gag that you wrote down?
I wrote down because basically a doctor tells tells Thor that Jane is essentially guaranteed to die.
Yeah.
And he attacks the vending machine. He gets really angry and attacks the vending machine. He comes in with loads of snacks. Jane is just like, what was that? What's going on out there? And he goes, some moron built a fridge without a door.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
That was a
joke.
good joke. Because it's also like, why would Thor necessarily know what a vending machine is?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's a joke because it's not making him an idiot. It makes sense that he wouldn't know what a vending machine is. Oh, so good. At least when he turned speaker, it wasn't another Guns N' Roses song. I think it would have turned the movie off at that point.
Yeah. Why did he just stay in the middle of the desert? He was dying, was my assumption.
Yeah,
there.
also, he's got nothing to live for. He's staying where his daughter's grave is.
Yeah.
Because he's got nothing to live for. He's already said that there's no one left. And I
feel like even if you're in a flat plain desert and you can see mountains on the horizon, they aren't close.
Yeah. I did write that I thought the villain motivation was very good. I liked the concept of a guy that has devoted his life to a religion worshipped this god, starved, lost everything, only to find that, it's not real. So he renounces God. He has become completely disillusioned with religion and has the ability to go on a rampage and get revenge. That in itself is a concept I was like, that's interesting. I think that's actually quite good, and I buy his motivation because there's a personal side to it, and it's like, and also those gods were all pricks. Mm-hmm. All the gods we met that wasn't Thor were pricks. So I like that. Do you know what I didn't like? Russell Crowe.
Yes, we'll get to that. I want to take up my favourite hobby and tell Hannah why she's wrong.
I'll get comfortable.
No, this is short and it's not wrong. But before she died, like, things have to get pretty bad at that point. That's the whole religion thing.
Yeah.
He even says, like, everything went hell, but we stayed, we stuck it out, we stayed to worship you. That was why they didn't go, because they were religious.
Yeah.
And as we know, religious people are fucking idiots.
I'm not saying anything, but I don't disagree.
And I feel like that is God, so I feel like that Oasis probably wasn't there the entire time. That probably, as Oases do, is that the plural? I've just Oasi. That probably just appeared. And don't get me started on that whole thing. What whole thing? Religion. Yeah, we're not going to have it. Well, because we don't get me talking about religion. So let's discuss something mildly positive.
Okay. I feel like I've said everything positive I wanted to say, but go on.
We haven't talked about the black and white scene.
Oh, I forgot about the black and white scene.
Yeah. It's a very good looking scene.
It is.
And this is where
pops of colour for it.
Yeah. This is where there's an actual fight.
Yep.
A good fight scene that isn't played off for laughs.
Yep.
I don't so much mind the fight at the end with all the kids.
I'm not a big fan of it.
I'm not a massive fan of it. I don't mind it so much. But again, it's because it's stacked on top of all of these other fights that are played off for laughs. Then it's just like, here we go, another one. But the black and white scene, that shadow realm, if you want to call it that, planet one, is really fucking cool. Just aesthetically, the direction, the cinematography of it is really cool. Like I really love the wide shots where you can see how small this planet is, and I just think it's a really well done scene, and it fit actually to the point where it feels completely out of place.
Yeah, it does, because
it's well done. It's well shot. They paid attention to what they were doing, the writing of that whole scene. It's probably the one time where they weren't making jokes about everything. Sneeze or don't sneeze.
I really want to sneeze to clear what's ever happening, but I can't do it. Well, I need to go and get a tissue because my face is going to leak.
Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Hello. Spoiler alert, we didn't like this film. I even put Melissa McCarthy as a bad note. I don't like her. She's terrible.
Sorry, everyone.
Tiskay. Yeah, so that's the only good scene in this movie.
It's a good scene as well. It looks great. Also, obligatory, just have to say, everything looks better in IMAX.
Yep, it does. And
I have to ask you, how was your experience watching it here?
It's good.
Because obviously I always enjoy watching these movies on my TV and my sound system because it's very good. And I hope you enjoyed yourself in that regard.
I feel like obviously it would have benefited from it being much louder like we normally do, but there were other people.
He was asleep as well.
Yes, exactly. We We don't do that, unfortunately. Women, right?
Yeah. Who'd have him?
But also, if it was any of those movies where we had to not get the full experience, I'm glad it was this one.
That's true. Maybe we can squeeze another one in.
Maybe. Guardians 3 would be good.
I haven't rewatched any of the next ones from here, see, so.
Yeah. I don't really have much more to say about this.
because it's just...
It's just shit.
I'm going to break it down. So I don't think it's funny.
Nope.
And I think the few gags that do work are undermined by the fact that most of it is not funny.
Yep.
I think that the overall plot from start to finish isn't that interesting or that compelling. I like the concept of the villain motivation, but it doesn't really come to much. It also doesn't create really an opportunity for growth for any of the characters, which is what a good plot should do and a good through plot should do. It doesn't progress or set anything up for the overall universe. All it really does is undo Endgame. Or some of the things that happens with Thor with Endgame anyway. I think it wastes quite a few opportunities. I don't think the action's pretty good, overly good. There's nothing stand out about it. Like, remember this really cool moment. There's no euphoria moment. There's no hype moment other than when the credits roll. And I hate that it exists.
Same. I said while we were watching it that this movie is the one that gives the idiots online the validation.
But it's a genuinely badly written movie.
It's just a genuinely bad movie.
And if you are one of these people, if you're watching this and you are one of the, I know you're not, and you're one of these people that complain about Marvel style dialogue because Marvel has bad dialogue, please understand that we are someone that normally disagrees with that argument. Says Marvel does not have bad dialogue, you just don't understand the way it's being used, or clearly haven't watched the right content. And I'd say if this is what you're basing it off, you've not watched the right content, because this is an example of not Marvel dialogue. This is a example of bad dialogue, and there's a difference.
When you want to compare Marvel to Forspoken, you're comparing this to Forspoken.
Yes.
I listened to the Spider-Man 2 spoiler cast on Sacred Symbols.
Is it a Sacred Symbols Plus? Yeah.
Some members go more into the critiquing it for being Marvel.
I imagine they do, yeah, because they're morons.
Yes. My argument, what I hate, I'm not going to spend on Spider-Man, it's just more interesting than this. I hate the argument that web wings are less Spider-Man-y.
Yeah, that's weird.
Literally been there since day one. Mm-hmm. He's always had web wings. Always. Web wings have been around for longer than Mary Jane. The person, not the plant. I'm pretty sure that butt is CG.
It is CG butt, yeah.
Not Hemsworth butt, I'm afraid. Which is weird to me.
I also don't like the exaggerated fainting.
No, I don't mind. I think that's harmless.
You were
talking about Russell Crowe, and
it's a weird slapstick gag that you get from like cartoons.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It just felt out of place to me. But yes, Russell Crowe was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To be fair, the first time I watched it, I did get a little bit of a giggle with his skirt maneuvers down the stairs.
That is a bit giggly, but
that wears off real fast.
The thing is, I think there's two mistakes is made, because the intention is we're going to make it so that, again, we'll make Zeus a fool, and that's the gag. Ha ha ha, Zeus is a fool. That's the gag. I think that's a bad gag.
Mm-hmm. Especially considering that's the gag of every character.
Yeah, but I think if that is the gag you're going for, the second part of what they're trying to do is then, we're going to have a serious actor do it, which is fine, because that's what I complimented the Matt Damon thing for, but Russell Crowe just isn't good at it. So it just for me, it just came off as try hard, like a pantomime. That's funny in a way if you're seeing a serious actor in a pantomime, because it's shit and try hard, but it's supposed to be shit and try hard. This doesn't feel like that works in this. So like that, I just don't think it was a good performance from him.
No.
for what the gag was. I think that could have been better with the right person doing it. And,
There's just nothing.
also, this is the first time I've seen the Hercules post-credit scene having a preconception of who Roy Kent is.
Oh, yeah.
Can't take that seriously in the slightest. Sure. Maybe. I can't take that seriously in the slightest because...
Have you heard the actor's actual voice?
Yeah, nothing like Roy Kent or Hercules, it seems.
Well, yeah, because Hercules is just Roy Kent.
It's Roy Kent, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
What is it he says? What's his line?
Oh, I can't remember. We watched it 2 hours ago. I've seen her practically nothing. She's just screaming big.
He's just in a post-credit scene, and he has one line, which is 2 words, but it literally delivers it as Roy Kent.
It's like, I'm ready or something.
Yeah, so that's what I said, Rich, as soon as the scene ended. I was it's like, I'm ready, but he says it as Roy Kent, and that's just all I can hear.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay, so if and when we ever get that, I don't know how I'm going to see anyone other than Roy Kent doing it, and I'm just not going to take it seriously.
No. Not at all. He got in very good shape for it, though. Good lord.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not a bad-looking bloke anyway.
No. But also, it's amazing what you can do workout-wise when you're being paid millions to do it.
And got steroids.
Yeah.
Not judging, just saying.
I'd imagine most of them aren't, to be fair.
I think there's probably some assistance.
It's called not having to do anything else.
Yeah, I think there's probably some steroid assistance. Get the veins to pop and stuff like that to look right.
That's dehydration.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy it.
No, I'm not saying none of them. I'm saying some of them.
Oh, yeah, but I agree with that. Also, I'm not judging. Fair enough. You're making a movie. Like, fine.
But I would say there's less worth it for you as a person.
Maybe.
Because maybe Chris Hemsworth, just because he's huge, but the slightly smaller guys, I don't think they were. Just because, why would you? Why would you take steroids to get to that size? Maybe if they wanted to actually paint Mark Ruffalo green.
Maybe there are steroids that make you green
and give you some dangling raisinets.
Quite right. Do we want to score this?
Hang
on, let me just type that. Okay, yeah. What do you want to score it?
Should we sit here and have a logical debate, or should we just go emotionally filled with rage?
What's your gut feeling?
4.
So was mine.
This is a bad movie.
Yeah, because it isn't. I generally think it's a bad movie, and a lot of what we've spoken about is the bad humor, but that's because a lot of the movie is humor. Mm-hmm. A lot of the movie is bad humor. That is what most of it is, because we're not exaggerating when we're saying like every other line is trying to...
Raisinets is a great band name.
Every other line is trying to be a joke. And the fact that none of that hits makes the overall movie poor.
This movie is all joke.
This movie is a joke.
Yeah, and none of them work. So yeah, it's frankly, it's a piece of shit. I don't even think it's well shot.
It's far too generous.
Maybe.
I mean, 4 is mind-numbingly numb.
Isn't it 3?
No, that's a particularly pooey shit.
Oh, yeah. I would say it's mind-numbingly dumb.
I think mind-numbingly dumb.
I think it would be a particularly pooey shit if some guy didn't make a fridge without a door.
Okay.
With that, and with the black and white scene.
Yeah, I guess there are a couple of good things. None of it is like badly shot. There's no like...
No, it's just not interestingly shot.
Yeah. So the real critique is the film's slow and boring. It's not funny, and it doesn't progress much. 4. Oh, okay. 4. Thor 4 is 4. Mind-numbingly dumb.
This is going to be the shortest ranking ever.
So first of all, let me just type right even. Okay, ranking-wise, here is the ranking so far.
At number 1, we have Infinity War. Number 2, Civil War. Number 3, Endgame. Number 4, Winter Soldier. Number 5, No Way Home. Number 6, so I want to point out how high this is. Number 6, Thor Ragnarok. Number 7, Age of Ulon. Number 8, Avengers. Number 9, Far From Home. Number 10, Homecoming. Number 11, Shang-Chi. Number 12, Iron Man 3. Number 13, Guardians 1. Gotga. Number 14, Ant plus Wasp. Number 15, Iron Man. Number 16, Mum. Number 17, Ant-Man. Mom, yeah. Number 18, Doctor Strange. 19, Black Widow. 20, Captain Marvel. Well, I'll find out where I think Marvel's is going to go tomorrow. Number 21, Black Panther. Number 22, Thor 1. Number 23, Guardians 2. Number 24, Iron Man 2. Number 25, Captain America. Number 28, Eternals. Number 29, The Incredible Hulk. And number 30, Thor, The Dark World. This movie goes at number 31.
I think you might be right, you know.
I am, because it's the lowest we've rated.
Yeah.
If we go on that logic.
The thing is, though, when we started this, I wouldn't have put it that low.
I
would have said maybe 28.
Yeah. I would have said Dark World was better. It was about, 20 minutes, half hour in, where I looked at you and just went, no, this is worse.
Yeah.
This is worse. Because Thor 2 is a little bit boring.
Yeah.
But it's not in your face egregious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can watch it. And there are more jokes in Thor 2 that land.
Yep.
Because they're so subdued.
Just need to quickly sidetrack. Hannah, we can't do that. If we were to do that, this would end.
Yeah, Although, to be fair, you get white South Africans.
No, that's true. That is true. That is just the Andy Serkis thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to attempt it.
No, neither am I. That's a different
Because
problem.
I think if I was to attempt it, it would come like really stereotypical Indian.
To be fair, Hannah has spelt it in a way where to do the accent, all you need to really do is say it.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not going to risk it. Unless I get a biscuit.
Do you have any biscuits?
No.
Ah, well, there you go.
Okay, are we agreeing? It goes right at the very bottom of 31.
Yeah. How many spaces do we need to add? Just one?
I think 2.
So we've got... Yeah, okay. 2 more, yeah. 2 more spaces. And then we may as well make another row.
Yeah, ready for
the
the Marvels.
And everything else that's going to come. Although, it's going to be quite slow for us, because apparently there is only one MCU movie next year.
Yep. Good. I'm happy about that, because I want to take them, let them take the time to fix whatever the fuck they fucked up.
This is more strike related, though.
Yeah, I know, but hopefully still gives them an opportunity to.
Yeah, I hope so. I think they should go back to there being 2 a year.
Agreed.
Yeah. Early and end. Early and late year.
Agreed.
Each year. Maybe 2 shows a year. Maybe. And that's just if they have one. Not forcing one. It is just Deadpool 3, supposedly. Supposedly next year. We
supposedly
shall see. It's hopefully a good one, though.
Hopefully. It will have Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in it, so it'll be pretty for me to look at least.
Uh-huh.
That's the way.
I like it. But yeah, this movie was a piece of shit.
Yep.
Is next week the one you can do Saturday?
No, I can do Saturday.
You can do
it's
Saturday.
The week after.
So next week, Saturday. We're on schedule.
Friday, come to my fucking gig.
Oh, I thought it was the gig was the reason you can do.
No, the weekend after I can't do, so I got the stag do in Manchester.
Stag do? When's his wedding?
March.
It's a bit early for a stag do, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah, it's a really awkward time actually, but well, no, you're right. I totally agree with you. It's not my stag do. I'm just going.
I'm aware. It's not yours. If it was yours, this would be an even stupider time.
Yeah.
When are you getting married? 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. Oh my lord.
But yes, Friday is my gig.
Your gig?
In Leatherhead Football Club. I think it's genuinely going to be really fucking good. And if you want to support me on anything, go. Be real friends.
Oh, well, if I can.
You should.
I'd quite like to go.
You should. We're headlining. It's got a long set. You're not coming to see us play for 20 minutes. Hour 15 is our set.
Good Lord. There's more Green Day than I've ever listened to in my
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Well, probably not cumulatively.
Mm.
But that would just be entirely Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Hey, maybe we're playing it.
I don't think you are, are you?
Who knows? The only way to find out is to come to the set. Come
You
to the
usually
gig.
tell me your set list anyway, so...
Yeah, but I'm keeping it as a surprise.
Oh, okay.
Might make you come.
Oh.
That's how good we are. So, yeah, that's my plug-in done.
How dare you plug yourself?
Hey, here's a story that I don't mind telling you. Jack and I had to explain what a cream pie was to my wife earlier. And I'll leave the rest to your imagination. Shall we go?
Next week, I'm just double checking. Because... Oh,
It's Black Panther.
yeah, Wakanda Forever next week. Remember to set aside 2 hours and 45 minutes. Because this is a long one. Why were you doing... Because we were making jokes about actual, like, food-based cream pies.
Yeah.
And then we were just... We're being rude about it, obviously.
No,
A video in Admit One channel, please.
that was for Hannah, for Kiri saying...
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I should have read further up. I was apparently explaining what I'd done to you.
Yeah.
I've also had to explain posh wanks and glory holes to my mother. Don't recommend a posh wank at a glory hole.
Oh dear. Right.
Rich, have you seen Wakanda Forever? This doesn't need to be an on-air conversation. I can just ask you. Is this the only one you haven't seen? I then continue to ask another question. So is this... Yeah, fair enough. You just never watched this. I think it's too late now.
I mean, I'd watch it. Just know that it's...
Shit.
Yeah.
Watch it while you got something else going on.
Yeah. Any other questions? Probably.
How big is the average banoffee pie? Circumference in feet.
In feet? How big do you think a banoffee pie is?
I didn't
12
say
inches, that's a foot, to be fair.
I was going to say, like, it could be sub 1.
Yeah.
The circumference all the way around as
Yeah,
well.
all right. That's fair enough.
Anyway, Wakanda Forever. Saturday. 8 p.m. What?
See,
8:20.
surely that would be the diameter of a banoffee pie. 9 inches. That's a circumference. Yeah, but Hannah said 9 inches.
Yeah, that's quite small. Or like round, that's quite small. Yeah.
So like 9 inches is more likely to be the diameter, I think. That's the size of an average cake tin, 9 inches. And it's also the size
Of your dad. You didn't realise I wanted this circumference? Why, did you black out the part where I said circumference? Wakanda Forever, Saturday.
Jesus Christ.
Like 8:20 because it's us.
Wasn't entirely our fault this evening, because
No.
I made a joke about I think we'll be late.
We were absolutely going to be late.
No, we started setting up and there would have been enough time, and then there was no internet and I had to reset the Wi-Fi.
Oh, fair enough.
So I think we would have been alright.
So,
Canal Rich, always got to lower the tone.